Hello and welcome to Home with Sarah Jane. In today's video, I'm sharing how the first few weeks of our new homeschool year has really been going. If you're new here, hello and welcome. My name is Sarah and I'm a homeschooling mom to two girls, ages 12 and 15. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for stopping by once again. I do really appreciate you. So today I'm sharing just a really quick and hopefully brief update about how the last few weeks or the beginning of our homeschool year has actually gone. Now, overall, I can say it has been pretty successful, but we have already made some changes and we did have a couple of hiccups along the way that I thought that I would share with all of you. So the first thing that I kind of wanted to talk about in this update video is our morning basket or our morning time or our family subjects, whatever you want to call it, and how that's been going, because last year we had a really challenging time when my daughter was in 6th grade and 9th grade, finding a good balance when it came to those family subjects or morning time activities or, subjects we were trying to cover. This year, I kind of did our morning basket a little bit different. I will, link that video down below if you're interested in seeing our 2024-2025 morning basket. But what I decided to do is, instead of switching out our basket every month for like different themes or anything like that, I decided to kind of just keep our morning basket primarily the same month to month. And honestly, it's kind of making me feel better. When my kids were really young, it was a lot of fun to do different themed morning baskets and, cover fun things and do experiments and, really branch out when we did so much as a family. But as my kids got older and they went into middle school and high school, that was a lot more challenging because my kids' workloads have gotten so much heavier that it was really challenging to take, 2 hours to do morning time because they just didn't have 2 hours to do it anymore. But now that they're older, we're spending about 45 minutes, maybe an hour on morning time. And because I'm not switching the themes all the time to our morning basket, I feel like I have like wiggle room and like a chance to breathe. Like if we miss something in our morning time, on a certain day, it's okay because I have more time to get through what's in the actual basket, if that makes sense. So I just kind of wanted to share that with you, that making that little change for us anyway, where our morning basket kind of stays the same and we're just working out of like, we're using like tea time together and we're doing the unsolved mysteries units from Gather Round. We do our read aloud in morning time. All of that, I feel like it's easier for me. Like I'm not as stressed about getting things done because I'm not switching everything out like I was saying. So that's the first thing that I'm really liking about how we change things for this upcoming year, is that morning time I don't feel as much pressure about our morning time because I'm not, changing the theme or doing all of that like I was in the past. Again, that was a lot of fun when we had more time, but I have to be mindful and make sure that I don't overplan, for my kids, because that could be very stressful, and I don't want that stress to turn into like a hatred or dislike of learning because I'm overscheduling them. So another thing about morning time, we do our read aloud time, our family read aloud time with morning time. And I do want to say that our read aloud time is going better than last year, but we're doing it maybe 3 days a week instead of 5 days a week like I would like to. But I still am looking at that as a win, because last year, there were weeks that we just didn't even do read aloud time because we were so busy. But what I found that's really helping us this year is that because my oldest daughter, Bella, because Bella is taking a couple of electives on a campus this year, I found that because we have that like 20 to 25 minute drive time to get there and to get back, that is a really good time to do our like family read aloud. So what I ended up doing is just getting an audio book, version of what we wanted to read as a family. And then I would just play it in the car. Now I know that is not a new concept. I've done that, the past 10, 11 years, 12 years, that I've been homeschooling. But I really make sure that I'm focusing on, playing that book when we are in the car, discussing it, talking about it. And then that way, when we're home, we could focus more on the areas or the subjects that we need to focus on. Because again, my kids do have a larger workload being in 7th and 10th grade. So I'm really trying to be mindful about kind of like that busy time. Like, we're not technically at home where we're sitting down and doing school, but, you know, driving from one place to another. You know, how long are we going to be in the car? 20 minutes? Okay, that's a great amount of time to listen to a book. You know, I'm just really trying to focus on that. So I do feel that even though we're not doing family read aloud time as much as I actually want to, it has still been far more successful than last year because we're doing it at least 3 to 4 days a week now. So still, you know, there's a little room for improvement, but I'm still really happy with how it's coming along. But yeah, so read aloud has been going okay, better than last year. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about when it came to our morning time and changes with our morning time is World Watch News. Now, we love World Watch News and that has not changed. We still are currently using it, but instead of watching World Watch News in the morning as soon as we wake up, what we've been doing is I've actually have been enjoying doing World Watch News in the evening after we have dinner, because we just had dinner, we're all together as a family, my husband is home and he could be included in World Watch News as well, and we've had some really fantastic conversations about some of the topics that World Watch covers. So kind of including my husband into this part of it just feels really good, and I really enjoy having him be a part of something in our homeschool regularly, because my husband does help out here and there when it comes to homeschooling our kids, but it's like I need to run to the store and Lydia still has to do math, so my husband would help her with math occasionally, or you know, something like that. But I am the one that primarily homeschools our kids, and my husband will step in as like substitute teacher as needed. So making sure that I have something like World Watch News that he is a part of, I feel like it's just really opened like this wonderful door, you know, in our homeschool. So we still watch World Watch News. It's just we kind of changed the time of when we did that, and it made a huge difference. I really, like I said, I really enjoy having my husband like in something more permanently in our homeschool instead of kind of willy-nilly helping out here or there. It makes him feel really included, and my kids enjoy it too. So that was the change with World Watch News. Let me take a look at my notes though, because, okay. Curriculum changes. I have made one curriculum change so far, and that is with my 10th grader, Bella. So Bella started the year using Friendly Chemistry. Now, I had purchased the whole set of Friendly Chemistry because she loved Friendly Biology last year. She just thought it was a perfect fit for her. She liked the way it was set up. She liked the videos that were included. She loved all the things about Friendly Biology. So when it came to picking out a chemistry course for her 10th grade year, it was a no-brainer for me. I was like, yeah, Friendly Chemistry. It's going to be perfect. She loves it. She didn't love it, guys. She didn't love it. I'm not saying it's bad, because it is still very friendly, the way that they introduce topics and talk about chemistry and things like that. But her issue with Friendly Chemistry wasn't necessarily the content of the textbook. She did not like the layout of the chemistry course. There were so many components to it. Like, they did have, like I said, videos, but then there was, you know, the textbook, the teacher guide, the solutions manual. There was just a lot, and she really didn't like how it was scheduled out. She didn't like how the workbook was set up. And this doesn't make it a bad course. It's just my daughter is pretty particular about the way that she likes to do things, and she just found the way that Friendly Chemistry was set up was just not very friendly for her. So Friendly Chemistry did not work out for her, and it took me a minute to find a replacement, because science isn't necessarily an area that she enjoys a ton. She's not going into a career that requires a lot of science or anything like that. So for me, I was okay with her taking, you know, an easier or friendlier course for sciences in high school because of that. So what we decided to do is we decided to get, I think this is it's Master Books. We decided to get this Master Books Master Class Chemistry. I hope I'm saying the title right. If not, I will correct myself somewhere on the screen. But we ended up getting this chemistry course for her. Now, it does have video options that you can purchase to go along with this. It is a textbook and an answer key, but it is pretty short and to the point. As of right now, she's not even 1 week into this, so I can't give you like a full review on this Master Books Masterclass Chemistry, but she is saying she's liking the layout and the simplicity of the layout better than she did with Friendly Chemistry. Again, she doesn't want She doesn't want like 500 components that she has to go through to do one lesson, and Masterbooks is pretty good about keeping things pretty simple. So we chose this one. I don't know how, again, I don't know how we're gonna like the content or anything. I've never used like a high school science class through Masterbooks before, so we're still kind of, you know, figuring it out, but so far she is liking this chemistry course better than Friendly Chemistry. And I don't want to say that I'm like disappointed in that. I mean, it was kind of it was kind of like one of those moments that it was like, oh man, I bought everything for Friendly Chemistry. So it was one of those moments that I was like, oh man, this isn't gonna work. You know, I just spent a ton of money on getting this course for her. But overall, Masterbooks really isn't that expensive. If you look into a lot of their courses, they're actually pretty reasonable when it comes to their courses. So it wasn't like a huge strain on us, but it was just kind of like we were so we were so convinced that Friendly Chemistry was going to be it for her because of how much she loved Friendly Biology. But that's homeschool, you guys. You know, that is homeschool. What works one year doesn't always work the next year, and we figured that out again. Okay, so now let's talk about our schedule and how our schedule's been going. So if you're a homeschooling parent, you know that it takes a minute. It takes some time to kind of find a good groove to a new year, and especially if you're trying out new curriculum or you're trying to add in more, or you're trying to do things a little bit differently. You know that it could take a little while, a few weeks, sometimes, you know, even longer than a couple of weeks. You know, there's been years that it's taken us like a solid 2 months to find a good routine. Now, we have been homeschooling for close to 8 weeks now, and let me just say that when we started this year, our schedule was going beautifully. Everything was falling into place. I found a good schedule for all of the curriculum for my 7th grader. My 10th grader, Bella, she just, you know, took on all of this curriculum and found a great schedule that worked for her around her on-site classes. Like everything was just working out beautifully. Even though we had new curriculum that we had never used in the past, like everything was just scheduled out so wonderfully, and everything was just falling into place. We had a great routine. We would wake up at a certain time. We were done with homeschool by a certain time. We were able to like successfully car school without any issues. Like it just fell into place. Like everything was working out so great for like the first 4 weeks of the homeschool year. But then we all got really sick, and it just kind of threw everything into like this chaotic mess. Because when I got sick, I got sick at the beginning of September. When I got sick, I got like really sick, you know, like body aches, high fever, can't really get out of bed. I got sick like that, and it was just challenging for me to read, to focus, to concentrate, to be awake. So it really kind of messed up our homeschool schedule. And although my kids, I felt like when my kids got sick, they felt, you know, like they were ill. They didn't feel great, but they are much younger than me, and they bounced back really quickly. So my kids bounced back quickly, but I did not. And I feel like it took me like 2 weeks to actually start fully homeschooling again. And that's the thing though, like it's okay when things like this happen. You know, you should take care of yourself as, you know, as a mother, as a parent, as anybody. You know, you should be able to get sick and take care of yourself. And I knew that that's what I needed to do, because that used to be really hard for me in the past, especially when my kids were younger. Is even if I'm sick, you know, I felt like I had to get up and just do everything all the time and keep everything 100%. But as I'm getting older and as my kids are getting older, I'm realizing I really don't need to focus on, you know, washing all the dishes when I have 103-degree fever, you know? So like it was hard for me at first, but now I'm a little bit more relaxed about things like that. But for a minute there, I couldn't even really use my voice too much. It was going in and out, so I couldn't do a lot of reading when it came to teaching my 7th grader. So she was primarily focusing on like language arts and math when she started to feel better. But I read all of her science and her history to her, and I didn't want to push all of that onto her because I couldn't do it, if that makes sense. I didn't want to stress her out. So what I did was I did focus on making sure that we were watching some like documentaries, we were listening to a little bit more audiobooks and things like that. So it's not that like homeschool completely stopped. It was just different for a couple of weeks, and it just really kind of threw our schedule off because of that, if that makes sense. But so that is the update. There wasn't any like huge changes. Morning basket's been going okay, but again, I think that's because I made that change from like theme baskets to like a basket that I'll be using throughout the whole year. So it doesn't feel like there's a lot of pressure there or stress to get it done. Our schedule has been a little chaotic recently, but I feel like if we get back to that schedule that we had at the beginning of the year, things will just smooth out and be fantastic again. And then again, like when it came to curriculum changes, we only had that one change. So it wasn't like huge. It was unexpected, but it wasn't a huge change, and everything else has really been working out for my girls. If you're interested in seeing all of their curriculum that I did pick for this year, I will link those videos down below for you. So let me know how your homeschool has been going. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. And as always, thank you so much for stopping by. You have a great day. Bye.